Everybody, welcome into the Dane Wayne Show.
Thank you, Wayne. What episode are we on?
We're on number 9.
Nice. Episode number 9. We're feeling good.
Yep.
It's a Thursday evening. Hopefully everybody's having a good evening out there.
Mm-hmm.
What are we leading or starting in with this evening, Wayne?
I think we got to talk about the Birds game.
Birds played on Sunday.
Yeah, it's pretty ugly.
Was it ugly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ugly. I mean, you were there, so you tell me.
It was, the defense played solid, which was a good welcome sight.
Yeah.
You know, Cooper DeJean had a good game. The defensive line had a quality game. The offense, to me, though, looked so-so. And there was definitely grumblings in the stadium for a couple of different reasons.
Yeah.
How do you feel about how Sunday went? And was it what you expected? Is it like, here we go again?
I think I said before the game, the only result that's going to make me feel better or feel good is a blowout, like an absolute blowout win.
Right.
I mean, a close win, great, they won. You know, a loss would have been horrendous, but, you know, I think a blowout, really, they needed to come out of the bye and destroy a bad team. That's really all they had to do.
Well, the Browns are pretty bad. The Browns are still bad.
Yeah.
And it was, 20-16? So the fan base is still very unsettled. There's a couple things that happened on Sunday, which I don't know if you want to get into.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
We'll talk X's and O's before we get into that.
All right. So how do we feel offense-wise? Jalen didn't have any turnovers, which I asked Jalen for turnovers.
I know.
And
I didn't have any faith in him.
I said, I think Jalen's going to have a clean game, and Jalen had a clean game. There was definitely things with AJ back, with Devontae back. Goddard was out of the game, and you could definitely tell. But Calcaterra actually had the game of his life.
Yeah.
Which
we've been waiting for this. He was a receiving tight end coming out of college, and I thought he was going to be a good number 2 option. But they asked their tight ends to block a lot, which you understand. So Jack Stoll got a lot of those snaps the last few years, and Calcaterra's finally been able to get those tight end 2 snaps.
Yeah.
But then with Goddard going out, he got his chance, and
I think it was like 3 catches for like 61 yards or something like that. So definitely did just enough. The 2 touchdowns to AJ and Devontae were definitely welcoming plays. Saquon had a mediocre game, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
They really didn't.
Okay.
They didn't really give him much breathing room there. I guess the Browns are decently good
run
at
defense.
stopping the run.
They still got a decent run defense with Garrett up front, you know, blocking up that middle. Garrett had a block punt.
Oh, no, block field goal.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Block field goal is correct, not a punt.
And that's the thing. Like so it would have been 23-9 had it not been for an amazing. He went from a 3-point stance to jumping over
the line
and blocking
a field goal.
Unbelievable play.
I couldn't make that play.
Jeez, that was only like 2 people in the world can make that play.
So.
And he's one of them. He and Micah Parsons probably the only ones that could maybe make that play.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that was an incredible play. Completely changed the game. I mean, they're going to be 13-0 or 13-3 going into the half.
It was tied up.
10-10.
It was tied up 10-10.
Yeah.
The momentum kind of got sucked out of the building. They were chanting "Fire the coach." You know what I mean? They weren't happy like on Sunday on the performance from the Eagles, even though it was a win.
Yeah. So I know that they scored on a couple of long throws, long plays to AJ and Devontae. But for the most part, it was a lot of dink and dunk, and they were doing a lot of like, all right, get the first down. All right, get the next first down. And it just felt like, I don't know, 2021, 2020 with the just dink and dunks and like, okay, we're just going to have these 12 play drives and get down the field and nothing can go wrong or else we're not going to score.
We're not going to score.
And that's just how it felt. It's just a little bit different than what they've been doing with this, talent group.
New offense with the new offensive and defensive coordinator. Is Kellen Moore calling the plays? Is Sirianni calling the plays? Does it matter who's calling the plays? Like, how do we?
Nobody knows.
Nobody. We're not going to get that answer. But
no,
like, are we transitioning to the Giants? Should we touch a little bit
more?
Let's
talk about
what actually happened on Sunday.
Talk about the clown show that happened towards the end of the game.
All right. So what happened towards the end of the game, which has been national news all week?
So
which I think is ridiculous, but
Sirianni didn't appreciate the boos, didn't appreciate people yelling at him and whatnot. And he went after, I guess it was Eagles fans. He went after the Eagles fans because it's at home.
right.
And so he's jawing at Eagles fans after the game. And it just felt really odd because
it wasn't warranted?
It wasn't a good game. They won, had they won 31-3 or something, yes, all right, fine. If he wants to jaw with people, whatever. I'm actually okay with that. But
juvenile.
It's still juvenile. But what else does he have to do? Like we've been talking about for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
He does game management and throws challenge flags and otherwise
has a puzzled look on his face.
Yeah,
he has a puzzled look on his face a couple times every Sunday.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I just you have to understand the situation. Your team just barely beat one of the worst teams in the league, coming off of a bye with all your guys healthy. I mean, you do not have any liberty to do that.
To be back and forth with the fans talking about whatever he was talking about. Yeah. To me, take the win, maybe look at the guy, give him a thumbs up, don't give him a thumbs up, but just don't do that. And it's been so blown out of proportion. You've not, even it's Thursday and you're still hearing people talk about it, which I didn't think, because we talked about this. We were like, yo, we want to win. You wanted a more convincing win, but I feel like the vibe in the city feel like it was almost like a loss. And that to me, for a 3-2 team in the position, I mean, he had to apologize. He had to go. Basically, I think he had to go to the principal's office. Is what I think he had to go do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So that's weird for
Jeffrey
the coach
Lurie
to be doing that.
Yeah, Jeffrey Lurie does not want to be embarrassed like that.
No,
and that was
right.
embarrassing.
You're right.
So yeah, I'm sure he got called into the office and they said you got to cut this out. And yeah, I also didn't appreciate that he used his kids as shields.
He was like, and then he started talking about his family and the whole night. He put on the show to deflect just enough attention to get out of the situation on Sunday, but then Monday he had to do the press conference where you see that lost look on his face, and then Wednesday he had to do another press conference, which you see more a little subdued in the Wednesday press conference.
The shaved head isn't doing him any justice either. I mean, or any favors.
Goodness.
Yeah, get the fade back. I mean, get the beard. That was his best look. I mean, just
wear the ball cap.
Or the ball cap.
Just do the hat.
Gosh, the shaved
head was,
and he's definitely aging. He's like a U.S. president who like goes in and he comes out of the 4 years.
He's
just
not
like
gray
and just like haggard looking because of all the stress. Like that's just how he looks. He just looks like he hasn't slept, and he looks like he's just.
He looks worried,
super stressed. Which I guess.
So a question that I heard this week, and I'm gonna ask you is the stress of the job making him not able to focus on one thing at a time? And like he said on Wednesday, like I'm gonna control what I can control, or is it the fact that his boss and the GM were flirting with other people? For his job in the offseason, and he knows, like, all right, if I don't get it right, like, how do you?
I'm sure that's stressful.
Okay.
He can't slip up, because he's going to be gone. If they miss the playoffs, he's gone. I mean, it's a really razor thin margins that he's dealing with right now. So I get the stress level, but yeah, I don't know. I think that he's under a lot of pressure. The antics don't help at all.
No.
I'd be on my best behavior if I were him.
No, exactly.
So it seems erratic. It's erratic behavior to me, and it doesn't really make sense at all. So yeah, I don't know. Do they flip the switch and move? Because I mean, Sunday's a quote unquote big game, division rival against the Giants. Like, what do we see there? How do you feel about going into Sunday? I think it's what, a 3.5? 3. Well, I saw 3 last time.
It went
I
from
checked.
5 to 3. So
originally it was a 5-point line at Vegas, and it went down to 3.
Yep.
So that means the voting too much election coverage, guys. Too many commercials.
No, we're
not talking about that.
It's not that kind of show.
Not that kind of show. The betting public is putting money on the Giants
for informational purposes.
Yeah, Vegas seems to think that it's going to be an Eagles win. So
I could see it. MetLife Stadium is crazy.
Yeah.
We've seen some of the craziest finishes in NFL history between the Giants and the Eagles.
Yes.
I could see 24-21. I could see 17-14.
Right.
I don't think the city would be okay with that. I feel like that would almost feel like a loss, but we got to put some respect on the Giants defense.
Yeah. As
terrible as Daniel Jones has looked, I feel like, they still feel like they can come into this game. And who are they getting back? Is there
Malik Neighbors?
All right.
Yeah.
So he's a problem.
He's on his way to being an elite
I'm going to
receiver.
say he's a problem.
Yeah, even with Daniel Jones throwing to him.
So, but Giants lead the league. Are second in the league in sacks. Lawrence has 7 by himself as a defensive tackle.
Brian Burns has a bunch.
Yeah. Do we feel that the Eagles' offensive line has enough to control the Giants to win a close game? What do you?
Well, Mailata's going to be out.
Okay,
so
that's true.
Fred Johnson's going to be playing left tackle. He knows he's going to be playing left tackle, but then again, when he knew he was playing right tackle, he ended up in Jalen's lap quite a bit.
You're right.
For that game against the Bucks.
You're right.
Whereas he came in relief of Lane Johnson against what was it? The Saints.
The Saints.
Yeah,
I think the Saints game he played,
and he played really well.
He did
in relief, but then when he was, he knew he was going to start the next game, he did not play well at all.
Everybody kind of laid an egg in Tampa.
Yeah, I get that.
And you're right about that. We need some consistency out of the O-line.
Mm-hmm.
Does Saquon have a big game in MetLife Stadium?
He's going to try. He's going to try.
Is it a revenge factor? Is it kind of like, these guys didn't want me? How do you feel?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
You use anything you can to get that motivation. So that'll be big for him. But like you said, the Giants defense is good. I mean, Dexter Lawrence is one of the best players in the league. And they've been looking good. I think it's going to be another low-scoring, close game.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I've been hearing all week that the city wants a blowout. I'm gonna be real. I don't see a blowout this Sunday. To be honest.
No.
If a blowout happens, like somebody got broken in half, like something terrible happened for the Giants. So but we'll see. What else?
I think going back to Sirianni, I think we wanted to touch on, does he make it through the season? Like, what has to happen for him to not make it through the season?
I say 11-6, 10
to not make it through.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry. To make it to not make it through he would have to just melt down.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's in meltdown mode because of that talk with the principal's office. I feel like he's. Yeah. They've talked to him multiple times. Like, don't interact with people. You don't have to be screaming to the crowd. Just be professional. We don't need the childish antics.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, they took the offense away from you, took the defense away from you, but you're still kind of. I just hear rumblings like he's still meddling, and it looks like it on the field because people in the stands are like, this offense looks like trash.
Yeah.
And I was
it's completely vanilla.
And I was like, man, y'all feel this way? And they were like, yeah.
That's like watching a preseason game.
Okay.
Like there's nothing spectacular about it, nothing special. I mean, I was texting with a buddy who's a Penn State fan, Eagles and Penn State fan, and just joking that he's not the Penn State offensive coordinator. If you watch Penn State games, they do all kinds of different stuff to get the tight end of the ball.
Number 44?
44. I forget his name.
Yeah, if you know his name, leave it in the comment. He's giving out work. He's giving out a lot of work.
If I was SC, we were watching the game together, and it's like
every third.
If I was SC's defense, like put 3 guys on this man.
Every third play, the tight end was open, man.
He reminded
me. I told you, Dallas Clark.
Dallas Clark with
is
the 44.
Who he reminded me of.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
So,
but anyway, I think, like we said last week about the mediocrity in the NFC
or the NFC.
In the NFC as a whole, they're gonna be in the mix the whole time. I feel like they're not going to get
completely
and they're not going to get eliminated until the last 2 games of the season maybe,
right?
So they'll be in it there till the end, especially with the 7th spot now. So I still say that he makes it through the season, but if they do miss out on the playoffs, I think that's the deciding factor
that he's going to get canned. So his record though, is 37-19.
Yeah, it's a great
which
record.
I saw that. I was like, that's a lot of wins. Granted, there's no Super Bowl trophy in there.
Yeah.
Doug Peterson got him the Super Bowl trophy, but that's a lot of wins in a small amount of time for the city to just be it. And what makes the city that completely out on him? Is it his attitude? Is that he doesn't carry himself like a coach?
It was the meltdown last year that completely turned everybody against him.
Okay, I got you.
It was the meltdown, and he had no answers. When something wasn't going right, he had no answers.
And he was standing on what he believed in,
right?
Which was
the year before, everything went right. Everything went right up until the end of the Super Bowl, and that's where you're looking for answers. If you're a great coach, then you have some answers. You want to make some changes, and just nothing changed, and it got worse. And,
I got
he tried to make some changes. He brought Patricia in, which was a crazy move, and I think he did call some plays down the stretch. I don't know, but yeah, it was out of his control, and yeah, I think he did a great job of building the team up. He had that message of one game at a time, one play at a time. We're going to get 1% better. And that resonated with guys because they needed to hear that. They needed to get better. Obviously Howie brought in a ton of good talent, and that obviously helped with AJ and whatnot. And everything broke right that year. But then I think that got tired. That got tired at the end.
That message got old, and it got old fast after the 10-on-1 start, and then the Niners beating them down. But I feel positive about Sunday. I'm not in the doom and gloom. If for some reason they get destroyed by the Giants, which I don't see on Sunday, then there's gonna definitely be the screaming. I feel even with a close window, Wayne. I really feel even if they win 24-21 or 17-14, they're gonna be calling the radio station burning them at the stake. Yeah. So it's what, week 6?
Yeah.
All right. So still a lot of football
your expectations at this point.
Correct.
Your expectations going into the season, just seeing how Jalen played in preseason or in training camp, have everybody healthy and everything. They had expectations that they were gonna go start the year at 4-0, 5-0, something like that.
That's not.
And it hasn't been that way, and everything's been close. They've just been such close games. It's like taking years off of all of our lives, and we're having to deal with that.
Go Birds.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to trying to figure out how to watch the game. I'm going to be overseas, actually.
Yes, you
for
are.
This game.
You are going to be.
And so, it's going to be.
What's the time difference?
6 hours.
All right.
So it's going to be.
It's not terrible.
Yeah, it's going to be 7:00 p.m.
But just don't text me. Yo, Dane, I need you to sign on. I'm joking.
Oh man, yeah. I'm gonna be jet lagged, but I'm gonna figure out a way to get the game on.
No doubt.
And we'll enjoy it. But yeah.
So are we transitioning off from the Birds?
Yeah.
What's next on the plate?
I think we need to wrap up the Phils.
Phillies.
I know we did a little flush last week, but Dombrowski talked, or he gave a press conference this week. Topper got extended, which I didn't necessarily see coming because I felt like 3 straight years of failure in the postseason. I don't know. I thought maybe they'd go in a different direction.
They want consistency.
I get that, but
you're
being consistently worse than you were the previous year.
Oh, that one hurts. That one hurts my soul. That's
is it true?
That's the truth. The truth hurts.
Yeah,
the truth hurts.
So yeah, I thought they would do something different there, but
everyone on the staff is coming back.
Showing confidence in the staff means you have to make changes elsewhere.
Okay,
and so that remains to be seen. Will they make changes elsewhere? In the lineup, in the bullpen?
Turner's definitely coming back.
Yeah, all those guys are coming back.
He's getting paid $300 million.
Are you going to replace one of the daycare guys with, a proven guy like Soto, Bregman, one of those?
Okay.
That are going to come in and play, every day and not have to be platooned. Stott fell off like crazy.
Stott, I feel like, should be able to figure it out though, because Stott to me doesn't seem as stubborn as Harper and Turner and Castellanos, and as far as his approach at the plate
Harper and Castellanos are the only ones that hit that series, so I'm not worried about them.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's
Turner's
true.
Turner's
the one that I want to throw in the garbage.
Bohm.
Yeah,
you look at that series and the batting averages for that series. Like Johan Rojas had like the third or fourth highest batting average at 200.
I know, man.
When you had 0.077,
just
you had
terrible numbers.
JT hitting 0.
0. That's 0.
I mean,
that 0 still hurts my soul.
Oh gosh.
Like, why are you batting 0?
It's crazy to watch the Dodgers and Mets. I mean, I watched a little bit of it. I can't really stomach too much of it. But like watching the Dodgers players not chase balls out of the zone, you're just like, oh,
this is
wait.
MLB players.
You're allowed to keep the bat on your shoulders with balls thrown outside the zone,
not swing at a pitch in the dirt.
Gosh.
But it's been 3 years of that though.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I thought there would be a change. But I love Topper. I think he seemed to be in 22 what they needed. And maybe he still is. Maybe he can pull all the right strings. And maybe they just need more talent. I don't know. I thought maybe the hitting coach would at least be shown the door because of how poorly they hit.
They want the hitting coach fired, but I think I heard that the hitting coach is friends with Turner and Harper. And if that's the case, that's the reason that it could. Because I heard somebody say this, and I'm like, what do you mean? They're professional. They're professionals. It shouldn't be, well, my friend is the hitting coach.
Right.
And that friend is clearly not pushing you in a direction. And you can't, what's Bryce? 34, 32 years old? I'm missing his age. But is Bryce Harper going to change his swing? Granted, he wasn't the problem.
No, he wasn't the problem. That one at bat was bad, but the rest of it wasn't
the rest of them were okay.
Yeah.
But is Turner, who swings from like, the backyard with his swing every single time, like Turner's not changing his swing. Turner looked into the camera and was like, well, I feel that, if you guys are standing in the batter's box, like it's hard to hit a fastball. Yeah, I know it's hard to hit a fastball. I'm not getting paid $300 million.
$300 million to hit it 3 out of 10 times.
Like that answer, I was like, all right, you're right, I guess. But no, Philadelphia ain't trying to hear that.
No,
they're not trying to hear that.
To the city whatsoever.
So
holy cow.
But to me, when I heard they had to do that press conference to kind of, flush the season, close out the season, give us all the company answers. But if coming back, do you feel that the Phillies are going down the Sixers road? And I'm not transitioning to basketball yet, but do you feel like, how many years have the Sixers been in the second round?
I called them the Sixers last week. Yeah,
goodness.
That's how it's feeling.
Oh.
That's how it's feeling.
All right, okay. So then it's put up or it's get to the World Series next year, or break this entire thing up, which they're not breaking it up this year.
Get to the NLCS.
Right.
Like that's a low bar. I feel like they should be doing way better. But yeah, calling these guys the daycare when they're like 28, 29 years old, and you're just like,
yo, burn that mural.
Yes.
Burn that song. And
yes.
There's one more thing that I wanted to burn, and I can't think about right now.
I said burn that song last year.
Okay, do not ever play that song again.
That was 22. That was a special song for 22.
And I didn't even like it in 22.
Throw it in the trash. Oh man, yeah.
All right, burn the daycare, burn the song, and we're gonna start all over.
Yeah,
and let
like I
you
said,
know.
I think.
I know what it is. No more Red October.
Oh yeah.
All right, no catchphrases if you're not winning a pennant.
Right.
It's the bottom line. You can't name it Red October. You don't get a catchphrase. And if you don't like that, leave a comment. Tell me you hate my response.
You didn't like Dombrowski's press conference. You didn't like the what do you call it? The company
he's giving me company answers of something that you say to somebody when you're just trying to pacify him. I'm not a baby. I don't want to be pacified. I want results. World Series trophies. Granted, Philadelphia doesn't win a lot, so I guess I have to taper my expectation as a Philadelphia sports fan, because in my years of being on this earth, how many trophies have I seen? 2. 08 and 17. So I got to taper my expectations, but he had to give that answer, like I said, Wayne, to the masses. I don't want to hear that, and until they do something otherwise, which is perform on the field, I feel like the fan base is going to slowly start to just trickle away just a little bit is what I feel might be happening.
Absolutely.
So.
evidence that they are like the Sixers is, we'll see about the attendance next year. We'll see if they show up. There's going to be baseball fans that always show up.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
They're not going to sell out every night. They're not going to be spending their hard-earned money to watch a team that
we're not
doesn't
buying
have
no
heart.
T-shirts. We're not buying a hat. I don't want the koozie. I don't want none of that. I want a World Series trophy.
Right. And I heard last night on the Sixers broadcast that there's season tickets still available.
Of course.
They're, because people have gotten tired of the first and second round exits.
No, this city's not going to pay their money if every single time you just keep bumping your head into the same place. And granted, the city doesn't win a lot, but they will support you if it's trending in a positive upward direction.
Right.
Is how I feel that this city is.
Yep.
Can we flush the Phillies?
Yeah,
no more Phillies?
Okay, no more Phillies talk unless they make a big deal.
Okay.
Until
I agree.
Spring training.
And what are we moving in? Well, let's see.
Hey.
Basketball.
It's coming up.
NBA season is on deck. WNBA Finals is on TV right now. I had to show a little bit of love. We're excited about the Sixers. Paul George we talked about. Embiid we talked about. Not positive news over the last 48 hours. George hyperextended his knee.
Hey, but there's no structural damage. So
no, but
at least he's not going to be out for too long.
Are you sure about that? Do we trust the Sixers medical staff?
Is this another 25 situation? Is that what you're saying?
Do we trust? Oh, God. I'm talking about 25. He didn't even play. What? They
played so disappointed.
Game. No, we weren't. He wasn't playing. And
I wanted to see him play.
Yeah, no, you don't. Get the hell out of here. Yo. 25 wasn't playing last night.
I wanted
when
him to.
You texted me, you were like, yo, 25's not playing? I'm like, what? What you mean he not playing? Oh, he not playing.
Has he played a game in Philly yet? Since he got traded?
Yes.
One time?
I think once.
Okay.
I think he's played here once since.
I feel like every time he
just ducks out of it. But he's supposed to be, he's done the summertime shootout videos. He's done the workout videos. His back is the healthiest it's been in the last 4 seasons. So, I mean, I want Ben to win, man.
I can't wait.
I can't believe I called him by his name. 25.
I just want, I want the documentary.
I
the
said
downfall
there was
of Ben
be,
Simmons.
I called the NBA 30 for 30 for 25 after he made that pass. Who was under the basket? Trae Young? Trae Young was standing under the basket and he didn't dunk the ball. I said, yo, there's a 30 for 30 loading.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy. The level of basketball talent that you saw in him, but he doesn't see in himself or never wanted to grow and get better. Crazy.
Yeah. I always said, like, if I was that close to being a superstar, I'd work as hard as I possibly could.
No, the money would take over.
But then I realized
the money would take over.
Like, exactly.
I don't gotta work.
No.
I don't gotta do nothing. Everything is catered to me.
Right,
you know
exactly.
So no,
I always thought that with Andre Iguodala. I'm like, he has all the athleticism. Back when he was with the Sixers,
Iguodala tried though.
He had so much athleticism, and he just couldn't shoot, couldn't hit free throws.
True.
It was just like, this guy, could be awesome, but he just didn't want to put the work in, and maybe he did, and he just wasn't. Really
he put in more effort than 25 though.
Yeah, oh my gosh, there's no comparison there.
He put in more effort.
No
than 25.
comparison. And then he wins the Finals MVP
Finals
as
MVP.
a sixth man.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was the NBA just wanting to do something wild.
That was making up for him losing the dunk contest.
The dunk contest? Yo, get out of here. But what do we see from the Sixers? Jared McCain got injured too last night, which was a not pleasant injury.
And then he
went to the hospital.
Bruise.
A lung bruise is what they call it. So I feel like Sixer Nation, when they saw that, was like, yo, here we go again. I didn't even send out the text because I'm like, yo, I'm not being negative about this at all.
I was going to make a TikTok joke about him before that injury, and now I can't.
No,
I can't do it. I can't say anything like that. But
play nice. Play nice.
He's an interesting guy. I like the team actually. Outside of Embiid and George and Maxey, obviously this is probably the strongest.
I know.
It's the strongest supporting cast they've had with Drummond as the backup 5.
Drummond grabs boards.
He does.
Drummond grabs probably 9 boards in his sleep. Like
it's probably going to be the smallest drop off we've had from Embiid to his backup.
Okay,
and you might be able to survive some of those minutes now with him off the floor. And Caleb Martin, I love.
Yeah.
And then you got Eric Gordon, good vet.
Yeah,
he's
he
been
can make a jump shot.
Making jump shots. He was actually playing defense last night, which is good to see.
No, I agree.
You got Lowry as well. He's getting up there, but
he's 100 in NBA years, but he's still serviceable.
He
can play 15 to 20 minutes, and you shouldn't need more than that. Which I think Maxi's about to take that real next step.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is what we're excited for. So looking forward to the Sixers this year.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. No, I don't even want to say it. I don't want to say it. Because
no
devastating injuries.
Last year Embiid was having a season of his life,
and then
he was averaging more points than minutes, and then the knee
injury happened. So hopefully we can have a healthy season. The season starts next Wednesday? I think Thursday.
The Bucks they play. Yeah.
So I think the Celtics are going to be a problem, but they're the NBA champs.
Yeah.
So we'll see moving forward.
Yeah.
Do we want to touch on anything else with the Sixers, or are we?
We're just gonna wait and see as far as George and Embiid and when they come back.
No, absolutely.
Embiid says he's not going to play any back-to-backs, which whatever. As long as he plays the home game, of the back-to-back.
Make sure you play against Jokic, Embiid. All right, I keep hearing that you ducking him, and you say, "I'm not ducking you. You need to play." All right, stop telling me I'm Joel Embiid. But no, I want a healthy season, man. I want a healthy season. I don't know if I can get that out of him, and hopefully him and George get us out of the second round. Is pretty much what I'm hoping for. So we shall see.
Yep.
Let's think.
Flyers started their season.
Did they start their season?
They're 1-2, I think, at this point.
Yes.
They lost to the Edmonton the other night. I was watching that game a little bit. They went up 2-0.
That was in overtime.
Ended up losing 4-3. Mitchkov had his first 2 goals. His first one was strange. He kind of jammed it home past the goalie. But then the second one was incredible. A one-timer right on the end line and snuck it past the goalie. That was a great goal. They're just they're not really able to close out games. They've been on the West Coast. What short straw did they draw
to get that schedule off the opening to start the NHL season?
Starting in the West Coast or the Western Canadian teams, that's horrible. But when they come back home, maybe they'll get their legs under them and play well. I still don't love Tortorella. I mean,
he's such a disciplinarian. It's not even. He's a very, very in your face, old school, yell at you kind of coach. And I feel like the younger generation of player, they'll listen to a little bit of it, but they
get old real fast.
It will,
especially if there's no results.
No,
if they don't do well this year, it's going to get old, and he's going to get fired.
He's going to get fired. He's definitely going to get fired.
I always find it funny with the NHL and all the retreads. I mean, it's worse than the NFL and the NBA. I feel like there's just constant, recycle of, Tortorella's going here, and all these other guys are changing teams, and Laviolette has been all around the place. Like Tortorella was like the sworn enemy of the Flyers back in 2010, 2011 when it was against the Rangers.
He was.
And now he's here, and it's just this is strange to see. But
he's turned them around though, because the Flyers 3 years ago were the building was
empty,
bad.
You can get tickets in the lower level for $25
for real. That was bad. But, so they've found a way to inch themselves out of that not pleasant situation with the fans. And putting a more positive product out on the ice, from what I've seen. Yeah,
we got some fun young guys, Tippett and Lawton. I mean, Lawton's not that young anymore, but Konechny, Bobby Brink.
Yeah.
Those guys are all fun to watch. And defensively, I don't know. It's hit or miss. But really don't know what's going on with the goaltending situation either. But, we'll be tuning in and trying to watch as much as possible. It's just been tough.
I'll be trying to watch
this first week. Trying to stay up till 10 and watch the whole game is crazy.
Stay up till 10 o'clock, you'll get out of here. You mean the game's watching me at 10 a.m.? But we're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
So this week, are we shutting down on the Flyers? Are we moving past the Flyers?
I mean,
Okay.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the season, but we'll see what happens. I mean, it's the second year of a 2-year rebuild, right? Is that what Bobby
because they technically had a shot to make the playoffs last year and kind of just faded out at the end and
they
melted down.
I mean, it's like that happens in Philly. I don't
know.
It's like
with the negativity. The sports meltdown in Philadelphia. Yo, we're scarred, man. We're scarred, and it's okay. We're gonna get past this. That's why we're here talking. It's therapy to get those negative.
We should have a couch instead.
Philadelphia sports moments out of your soul. Well, let me think here.
How about the most valuable hater?
This segment is brought to you by Jambuck Apparel Company. They believe that looking good should never mean sacrificing comfort. Their collection features fits designed specifically for the modern man. Whether you're lounging at home, hitting the gym, or heading out for a casual night, their versatile pieces have got you covered. Visit jambuckapparel.com to inquire about their new arrivals.
Don't be like this guy. It's time to call out our most valuable hater of the week.
Most valuable hater this week. I think I got a positive one for you, and it was from somebody in the NFC East. It's an owner, Jerry Jones. You cannot take the whooping like you took on Sunday and then go on a radio station and say to somebody that they can't ask you a question about what just happened. Yo, you got handled, and you should have just been a man and just said, yo, ask me any question you want. I get it. He's ornery. He's like, yo, I'm a billionaire. I don't need to answer this. Mm-hmm. But Jerry Jones, rein it in, man. All right. You got to do better. Your Cowboys got to do better. And I still want you to lose every week. Go Birds.
I love that. Yeah. He's just trying to control the media. He's trying to use his weight to push around and say, all right, well, I'm not going to come on your station if you ask me tough questions.
I can get somebody else and I'm going to fire you. Yo, no, Jerry, do better. You're not firing somebody for doing their job. That's terrible.
Yeah. He should have just gone on there and given some company lines. Correct. Just say, we're going to do better.
Give me the company
This
line.
is an inflection point. We're going to be able to bounce back. We're going to do better. And
keep it moving.
But to go in on a guy who's doing his job.
No. Jerry.
Because you and your team hasn't done their jobs. I mean,
I'll give you 4 thumbs down for that, Jerry. That was Jerry gave me the layup for the most valuable hater.
That was an easy
week.
one. Absolutely.
All right.
That was an easy one. All right. Let's transition to the podium.
This segment is presented by Mountaineer. Looking to elevate your e-commerce business? Discover Mountaineer, your premier partner in fulfillment solutions and 3PL services. Our seamless integration of print-on-demand and third-party logistics ensures your products are managed and delivered with precision. Trust Mountaineer to handle the details so you can focus on growing your brand. Visit mountaineermade.com. That's MTNYMADE.com today and experience fulfillment without limits.
Drafting the best of the best. Here's this week's podium.
So I think what we're doing this week, we want to do our top commentating booths.
So that we love to listen to?
Yeah, like all time. Doesn't have to be now.
That's true.
So all time. Growing up, any sport, if you have some from, English soccer or whatever it is,
okay.
All right.
So go ahead.
No, you go first. I think I went first last time. We still don't have a coin, guys. I still don't have a coin.
Hold on. No, I don't have a coin.
I have like one of those free game coins from the miniature golf.
Yo,
I should bring that in.
No.
Pirates Cove free game.
It has the same thing on both sides. They're like, don't call this one. So let me think. My all-time, I'm going to go baseball first, and I'm going to go Harry Kalas.
Okay.
Is who I'm going to take first.
Harry Kalas with who? With Whitey? With Richie Ashburn?
No, what was the gentleman? Is it Richie Ashburn? Oh, I can't think of the gentleman's name.
Chris Wheeler?
Yes.
You like Wheeler?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Wheels?
Yeah. Now, Kalas and Wheeler, to me, listening to baseball in the summertime and his voice, timeless to me.
Yeah.
Is who I'm going to take.
Absolutely.
For my first pick.
I remember my dad's going to hate this, but we didn't have air conditioning. And so I remember like just vividly having the window open, trying to get any air I could, but listening like to the sweating to death in my bed, listening to Harry Callis, falling asleep to the Phillies games
with no AC.
With no AC.
I mean, I have no AC either, man. Trust me.
All right. Good.
I had a fan that was blowing hot air around.
Yeah.
So
at one point they put one in their room, and then they opened
a fan or the AC?
They put an AC unit in their room, but then they would like try to have fans. They would have fans going from their room down the hallway
the air to
my room and my sister's room to try to get some cool
That's
air.
a real one right there. That's some real good parenting right there, yo. I can dig it.
Now they have central air.
I could dig it.
My little brother got to have central air. Not me. No. Anyway, aside from that, let's see. My all-time favorite from a football perspective is the classic Summerall and Madden. I mean, they were so good.
Yeah.
Summerall he's so eloquent with it, and then Madden coming in and garbled. Any idea what he's saying?
Boom, bam. Boom. Yeah, Madden.
Bam. Yeah.
Madden was classic.
Oh, it's so good.
I can give you probably 4 or 5 thumbs up for Madden and Summerall.
Yep,
absolutely. My next would be, let me think, football. I actually like Jim Nantz and Romo.
Okay.
I like Jim Nantz and Romo. Romo's gotten a little bit on my nerves lately, but when he first came out, him and Nantz sounded very, very clean to me as far as a duo.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Jim Nantz is great in anything. He does golf. He does the college basketball. He's got football.
He's got the whole arsenal. He can do pretty much any sport.
And I love how he can change his voice depending on what sport. Golf, he's just got that nice little,
very calm demeanor.
Hello,
he sinks the putt,
friends. Yes, and then he
don't do the golf voice.
He can pump it up for football, for playoff football. I always like Jim Nantz and Phil Simms. Simms would say some stupid stuff, but
he would reel them in.
But I just loved that. Just was like playoff football to me because I wouldn't watch a ton of AFC games.
Right.
Back when they were together in the early 2000s, I wouldn't watch a ton of AFC, but in the playoffs, I would watch every game, and they were doing the top game for the AFC. And so, just watching some of those games, it just reminds me of that. But Romo's good. Romo can, I don't know, Jim. that thing is hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Yo, get out of here. That's facts. That's definitely Tony Romo. Yo, get out of here.
Oh, man. All right. I'm going to go basketball.
Who are you going to take basketball?
I'm going to go local like you did with the first pick, and I'm going to do Zoom Off and Steve Mix.
Ooh, that's a classic. They coming in for a landing.
Yeah. Oh, man. I always thought Zoom Off was just a little weird, growing up listening to him. But then, you learn to appreciate all the things. And now, Kate Smith has been
solid.
Smith? Is that her last name?
No, Kate Scott.
Kate Scott.
Kate Scott.
Scott.
She's solid, but it's like you said, where Zoom Off grew on you, hearing his voice over and over. Yeah. She's not at that point yet.
No, she's improved. She was real rough her first season, but she's been improving. And Allah is he can be good. He sometimes talks too much and steps on Kate, but the Zoom Off Steve Mix was great. He was great at breaking down plays and giving you the knowledge. That was like the 2001 Sixers for me, watching AI and all them every night. That just brings me back to that.
My third is going to be the Eagles radio announcer.
Okay. Wow. How did we not bring up Merrill?
No, Merrill is, I will listen to Merrill over the TV. Mm-hmm. I'll turn the TV down and I'll turn Merrill up and just listen to the game. Because his perspective, man, is classic. His voice, his tone. Yeah. Is it Mike Quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. Both of them, anytime you hear them on the radio on a Sunday, it's Birds football, and you're just at this peace with listening to them speak about the game.
Yeah, Merrill's great. He's getting up there in age, and
true.
You sometimes So I loved when they on Twitter they would put out the Merrill cam.
Right.
And they would show you some of the big calls and just like watching him make the calls. And you can tell sometimes he's not quite sure what's going on and they're like helping him. But
yeah.
But still, I don't know how old he is, in his 80s, and he's still doing it.
He's still doing it at a high level and an efficient level.
Yeah.
Which the city definitely loves.
When I was growing up, he was with Stan Walters. And I think he was an ex-Eagle lineman or something back in the 70s maybe. And that guy was just like even worse than Madden. You could barely understand a word he was saying.
I don't know.
A bunch of marbles in his mouth. But I just loved the sponsors that they had.
Okay.
And one of them was the Slacks Hoagie Shack Whack of the Game.
What?
Yes. So Stan would come in and say, "That was the Slacks Hoagie Shack Whack of the Game."
Oh my God. You're like, what? Who's sponsoring this? Who paid for this ad?
We should get Slacks Hoagie Shack to sponsor.
Subscribe to us?
Yes.
All right. Yo, if you're still out there, man, I need some subscribers.
Oh man, that was good. That's hilarious. Yeah. I think that was your last pick.
That was my last pick.
Okay.
Who's yours?
We went with Merrill. That's good. I wanted to go with the existing Phillies baseball radio team. So Scott Fransky, Larry Anderson, they're so good together. I know Larry's only really doing home games, and he did some of the playoff games in New York, but they're so good together. And Larry's, I just love his rooting for the team, and he's always yelling over top of Fransky's doing this beautiful call of a home run or something, and you just hear LA in the background
screaming,
"Yeah! Yeah!"
You're like, yo, calm down.
I remember one time
talking.
One time I was listening to the game, and like he was saying they should appeal that. They should appeal that. Like throw the ball over to try to appeal a call. And like they weren't doing it, so you could hear him put his headset down and then yell out of the press box, "Appeal it!"
Oh wow! No, I didn't hear that. Yikes! He's
it was hilarious.
That's funny.
But Fransky is just so good. I mean, I love seeing his when on Twitter. There's a guy that does Nick Bacone, I think his name is. He does the highlights with Fransky over top of them. With the radio call, and I always look for those after a big play.
Yeah.
So
no, nice.
Yeah. Do we have any honorable mentions or anything else you can think of?
Oh my goodness. Off the top of my head, no. I'd have to look at my cheat sheet. I'd have to look at my show sheet.
I like Mike Breen for the NBA.
Dude, like
ESPN.
the bang. Is that the bang?
Bang, yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't do too many Sixers games.
No. If during the playoffs, yes, but he's on their top team for basketball.
Absolutely.
And he's been doing it for a while.
Yeah, he does the NBA Finals every year.
Doris Burke.
Yeah.
I like her voice. Okay. She's quality.
Yep.
Let me think of who else. Gus Johnson. For football, like college football.
He doesn't know what's going on half the time, but he's really excited about it. Yeah.
When an exciting play, you know Gus Johnson is on that microphone screaming.
I like Joel Klatt. I like Joel Klatt, his partner, so I like them together for that big noon Sunday or Saturday game. I like them together. Joel is really good at diagnosing the play or being able to talk through things. I think he's a really quality analyst there.
Absolutely.
And he definitely corrects
Gus.
Gus Johnson.
He's like, hold on, Gus. Chill
it's
out.
Complete. Like,
no. It bounced off his helmet, yo.
It bounced like 5 yards in front of him. Like, I don't know what you're seeing here, dude.
So let's see, Wayne. What else is on the table?
This segment is presented by Height Hype. Are you ready to elevate your game? Their Height Track posters are designed to measure your growth side by side with your favorite college athletes, making them perfect for young athletes aiming for the next level. Join the Height Hype community today and start your journey to greatness at heighthype.com.
Get ready for some fire. Here's the hot seat.
For our hot seat this week,
I
saw something today put out by Dan Orlovsky about the top quarterback wide receiver duos in the NFL.
Okay.
And it caught my eye because maybe it's just sour grapes from the Birds losing to the Bucks so bad, but he had Mayfield and Evans on there as third, and he had Sam Darnold and
Justin
Jefferson as fifth. And to me, I'm just like, you can't just take like elite wide receivers and just because they're elite and they make their quarterback look good, put them on this list.
So was AJ and Hurts on the list?
So I think the first was CJ Stroud and Nico Collins was first.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers was on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm forgetting the other one.
Jamar Chase.
Yes, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Yes,
Okay.
That was the other one.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, no Jalen and AJ, or Devontae. No Dak and CeeDee. As much as I hate them, I think
they're an elite
pretty
combo.
elite
They're an
combo.
elite combo. As much as Dak throws picks,
Yeah.
CeeDee gets the job done.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I mean, and this year's body of work, you got Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin. Have been playing
putting
great.
Up numbers. They've been putting up numbers. So
Jordan Love and Jaden Reed.
yeah.
I mean, there was just so many more options, I felt like. And maybe he's just talking about like currently, like now, who's playing the
He's
best.
probably talking about like through week 5 through week 6.
Maybe. And yeah, Baker Mayfield has been playing decently well. The first 2-3 weeks though, I mean, he was getting lucky. They got a lucky win against the Lions. They got destroyed by some other teams, and they got destroyed by the Broncos of all teams.
The Broncos beat them down,
Yeah.
but they've had the Bucks weirdly have had 3 solid weeks since that beatdown from the Broncos.
Yeah,
Because did they play the Saints last week and beat down on them, and they were down in that game.
Yeah.
So as much as I want to throw Baker in the trash and give him like, yo, you're Baker Mayfield, I mean, they've done enough with Todd Bowles, the head coach, and their defense and Mike Evans. Yeah, I totally agree with you where you're like, it's Baker Mayfield. But he's been doing just enough.
Yeah.
To be serviceable.
Serviceable though, but not elite. I mean, not the
not
third
elite.
best
No,
quarterback and
combo.
wide receiver combo. And
Godwin,
Chris Godwin's been doing just as much as Mike Evans.
Then who would you put 1, 2, and 3 then if you could pick?
I like
1,
CJ Stroud and Nico Collins and Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, but even that, I mean, if you're looking at this year through week 5, have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase really been that elite? I mean, they're what, 2 and 3 or?
They're 2 and 3, but Chase had 2 crazy games.
Yeah, I guess.
Chase had 2 crazy games where I think he had probably like 5 touchdowns in like 2 games or 6 touchdowns in like 2. So that's basically, I feel like
I'll keep I'll keep the first 2 the same though.
Okay.
But then third, I just wouldn't put Mayfield and Evans up there. And I don't know. I'd probably put Dak and CeeDee up there.
And then the Justin Jefferson Darnold thing, man.
Yeah.
That's coming from Darnold's playing out of his mind, and Jefferson is the man.
Yeah. Anybody throwing it. If it was J.J. McCarthy throwing to Justin Jefferson, he'd be up there. So yeah.
But I hear you. I wish or I want Jalen and AJ, and you saw some of that on Sunday. Them getting their, him getting the ball to AJ in spots, him throwing that crosser to Devontae. So they're gonna eventually get in a rhythm, is what I feel. So
yeah. So I guess like I said, if I'm trying to look at it from a full body of work from week 1 to week 5, obviously AJ's been hurt, so you can't put him there.
No.
CeeDee and Dak haven't really been on the same page.
No.
They've been and then obviously Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin, it hasn't been enough
of a body of
work maybe.
To anoint them.
And Jordan Love was hurt too as well. But I guess if I'm actually if the rubric is best quarterback wide receiver duos, that's all it said.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't like from week 1 to week 5 in 2024. It didn't say that.
So then if I was doing a 1, 2, and a 3, I would do. My number 1 would probably be biased, AJ and Jalen, but that's just biased.
Yeah. But that kind of falls into, I mean, depending on how you feel about Jalen, that falls into the elite wide receiver and anybody throwing to him would become elite because of that.
Because of that.
Jalen really made a case for himself being a great quarterback this year because of all the turnovers. No.
So I looked this up, and they are top 10 in yardage, the Eagles, which you wouldn't think it. Like,
no, I see that.
You know
Top
what I'm
10
saying?
yardage, and like, what are they, like 20th in points scored or worse?
Correct. Which is crazy.
We saw that in the Saints game where they just kept
moving the
up
ball
and then
down,
not scoring.
and not scoring a touchdown.
That's the difference between elite teams and mediocre teams is
getting points.
6 instead of 3 and 6 instead of nothing. And
no, I agree. I absolutely agree. So where do we leave? Oh, one that I think we're forgetting about is trade this week. Adams going to the Jets. Does that change the dynamic of that Jets team to Aaron Rodgers getting his binky back? I mean,
well, it's becoming the New York Packers at this point.
Oh, okay.
But it's hey, I said last week that
and is
Salah,
Devontae a crybaby?
I don't know.
No, okay.
I saw a post this week that was pretty funny though. That like where's Devontae going to find a house in New Jersey or New York that has a Taco Bell in it? I mean, this is not very many of those in that area.
Get the hell out of here! You're funny.
Oh man, but I like I said last week, Salah was a scapegoat. The defense was playing well. It was Rodgers that wasn't playing very well, and he threw a wide receiver under the bus this week.
Mike Williams, he told me he ran the wrong route.
He was supposed to run up the seam.
And
He did
like,
an in route or something.
Yeah.
And so he called him out in the press conference. I mean, as a 40-year-old or however old he is.
He's 40.
You just take that. You just say, yeah, we weren't on the same page.
He had to burn him.
You don't say, Mike, you got to tell him, tell him after the game.
Don't tell
Mike, you got to run that seam.
Don't tell the media.
Yeah.
Don't tell the media.
Don't tell the media.
Leave that alone.
Such an egomaniac.
I mean, you still see it on his face.
Yeah. He has to make sure that everybody knows it wasn't his fault. And I don't know.
Aaron, do better, man.
Yeah.
Don't be a hater, man. Don't get nominated.
He's close. He is close.
Don't get nominated. So, Wayne, are we wrapping up the show this week?
It's a good show.
All right.
I'm excited to flush the Phillies so we don't have to talk about them again for a while.
Definitely putting the Phillies down. We're going to embrace the Sixers. We're going to embrace the Flyers.
Yep.
And Philadelphia, chill out on the hate on Sirianni, man. Like, I get it. The antics were terrible. He acts like a child.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I heard somebody say this week that Jalen Hurts is the equivalent of Sirianni on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Like, stop that, man. They 3-2. They got a chance to be 4-2. Let's just forget about last year. Let's start to just the negativity is never gonna stop if somebody don't. I get it. It's Philadelphia. You want what you want. But just try to be positive, man.
Yeah. And I actually think that maybe his message of let's go 1-0 this week, that's like the big thing that he'd always say. Maybe that will resonate because they don't have those expectations anymore that they're going to blow people out.
No.
So let's just go 1-0 this week. Maybe that will resonate. Maybe they'll do well. They'll go on a little bit of a run.
I agree.
Who knows?
I agree.
But
go Birds.
A little bit of housekeeping, I guess. We won't have an episode next week.
Damn it!
Because I'll be traveling.
Yeah, Wayne's taking off. He's got to take care of some business.
Got to take care of some business, but we'll have some content out there for you.
Absolutely,
do some videos.
Absolutely.
Maybe I'll try to send one in from abroad.
I'll put my ugly smile out there. Tell me how you feel. Leave a comment. Tell me if you hate me. Tell me if you like me. And subscribe and leave a comment.
We will talk to you in 2 weeks.
Absolutely. Go Birds.